Hello and welcome everyone to your Tuesday edition of the Daily 8 on the News 8 Live Desk. Phil Panarski here with the top stories that you need to know for your day. Happy to be back again with everybody once again. I do want to thank Madeline Bursma for filling in for me yesterday. She did a great job, and hopefully everybody's excited for yet another edition of the Daily 8, and we are going to go ahead and get started straight into things, and our first story takes us to Ottawa County. The interim Ottawa County Administrator has resigned. That is according to the county that we confirmed earlier today. John Anderson had reportedly resigned on Sunday. In a short email to the county, no further explanation regarding his resignation has been given at this time. Anderson replaced former County Administrator John Gibbs, who was fired back in March. Gibbs was ousted after a board vote of 10-1 to terminate his contract following complaints of his behavior in the workplace. Gibbs has denied those allegations. And we head to the other side of the state now as we are continuing to learn more about a shooting involving multiple police officers that left one of them dead and two others injured. An off-duty cop had reportedly shot at two other on-duty officers just before 2:30 on Monday. The two on-duty cops were hit and one of them returned fire and ultimately killed the off-duty officer. During a press conference, Police Chief James E. White said that the off-duty officer was struggling with a mental crisis and called the incident a very tragic situation. None of the involved officers' identities have been released at this time. The two injured officers are said to have suffered non-life-threatening injuries, however. And new data from the CDC suggests that cases of whooping cough here in Michigan and the rest of the United States are way up. As of October 5th, that is the latest data that we have, there have been more than 17,500 cases since the start of this year in the United States, and 473 of those cases have been found right here in Michigan. That's up from just 58 from a year ago during that same time frame. To help ease the surge, the CDC is advising people to get their whooping cough vaccines and boosters if it has been more than 10 years since your last shot. Symptoms of whooping cough can last up to 10 weeks and are similar to the common cold, they say. And rumors, the LGBTQ nightclub here in Grand Rapids is set to close next month, but just temporarily. The venue will be undergoing some renovations and some remodeling starting on November 4th. This comes as the current owners of the club are seeking to find new owners. They have currently listed the price at $2.4 million and want to keep the club going and operating here in Grand Rapids. The plan is for Rumors to reopen with these new renovations around December 15th, just in time for the club's Christmas parties. And if you got up this morning, you probably felt that first real frigid air of the season. And while we didn't get that first real freeze of the year, it's a good time to remind everybody that winter is coming and to start getting that vehicle ready for the season. There are a lot of things to account for as we get into the colder months, including checking your battery to avoid being stranded out on the cold roads, and also check those tires to make sure that they have at least 1/8 of an inch of tread to avoid any disasters if there is ever any snow or ice chances. Experts are also advising drivers to not let their cars idle too much in the morning to help heat up the car. Only about a minute of time is actually needed to get the car ready to go driving in those early cold mornings. And continuing on that winter trend, we are prepared for a new law that will require drivers in Michigan to stay at least 200 feet away from snowplows that are actively in use. The bill was signed into law by Governor Gretchen Whitmer, and it requires drivers to be about 12 car lengths away from plows to help mitigate incidents involving plows or slowing their work. And again, that is just for when the plows are actually operating. Drivers who don't follow the law will be ticketed, and you must also stay at least 20 feet away from a plow when it is stopped or at an intersection under this new law, but also important to remind everyone that if you are passing a plow, you don't need to stay that 200 feet away. We are still a ways away from that first snow, though, so hopefully there is plenty of time for people to kind of be aware of this new law. But as we get closer and closer to the start of winter now, let's get a closer look at your forecast just for today, though. Here is Storm Teammate meteorologist Scott Larson.
Seeing a fair amount of sunshine in Grand Rapids, but it is going to be cool outside today. High temperatures are expected to be in the low to mid 50s, including 50 in Grand Rapids, 51 Allegan, 49 degrees in Greenville, and 54 in South Haven. Some of the communities that were excluded from the freeze warning last night are going to be included in that tonight. As you head down toward Branch, St. Joseph counties into Hillsdale County, we do have a freeze warning that's going to be in effect through the early morning hours of Wednesday. Should start to heat things up as the week goes on, though. The weekend looks to be in terrific shape, highs near 70 and some sunshine.
All right, thanks, Scott. We end today's show with the need for help at the Sacred Heart of Jesus Catholic Church here in Grand Rapids. The bells, which ring every single day, have long been a neighborhood staple, but it could become a distant memory if repairs to its electronic system are not made. The church said that it would need about $19,000 to complete renovations to save those bells and have so far raised about $4,000. It's now a race against time to get the funds before the bells stop working. If you would like to help donate, we have links to do just that inside our story on woodtv.com. And that is also where you can find more on all of these stories we mentioned in today's edition of the Daily 8. And in case you missed any of today's or yesterday's or any of the Daily 8s in the past, you can find full replays of them over there on woodtv.com as well at any time. That is going to do it for us today. We will be back again tomorrow with 8 more stories that you need to know for your Wednesday. I want to thank everybody so much for tuning into this latest edition of the News 8 Live Desk. I'm Phil Pinarski, and we hope you have a great rest of your day.